All right, let's get started. We're trying to clear this bed out. I really would like to be able to get some of these mustard greens out of here. Something that I could saute down tonight, but I don't know if there'll be enough to do. But I'm gonna try. Now here with these greens, I'm gonna be cutting them off, leaving the root in the ground, as this is one of the crops that I like to do that with to help feed the soil. We'll make a nice big pile over here. We have one of the young helpers come out and take them back to the chickens. I probably will not take them all out today because I do not have anything to plant in its place. I told you the way the weather went this year, it really caught me off guard. The only things I really have is a few starts from either a store or a nursery. But most of the time I start majority of my own plants. It's almost a shame, but I actually saw this 3-4 days ago. I just did not have the ability to get out here and do anything about it. And now more of them has gone to seeds, and the powdery mildew has jumped from one bed to the other bed. These greens definitely have powdery mildew on them. So we're just going to continue on. Not a big deal. And like I said, there's no real waste around this house anymore. Everything turns to compost or chicken feed, which I wouldn't compost with the powdery mildew. Oh, what a treat. Found a passion fruit. I do have a what variety? I think it was a red passion fruit. Very, very good. I have one growing here up my large oak tree. I have a yellow one as well, but it's never really done anything. It hasn't given us any fruits yet. I think over the next couple of days, I'm gonna take this bed completely out. Right now, today, I'm only gonna do this front corner because we're not gonna eat any of these. Good gracious. Now let's take a quick peek, see how much you guys can actually see what we're doing here. Oh yeah, you can see it. Right there by that little small green light, there is a small pepper plant there. Actually, the light is right between two pepper plants. But they are so small because they're not getting any sun. But I typically plant some type of pepper in here, whether it's a cayenne or bell or whatever. I typically plant some type of peppers in this bed. So the next couple weeks, this bed will completely transform. I'll probably throw some more mustard seeds down, even though I know more than likely they'll go to seed, but I'll put them in a bit more shady area. And as much as I pick them, I probably could keep it from going to seed. I should be able to get a few meals out of them when I do that. Okay, I think that's more than what my chicken's handling for a couple days, so that's all I'm going to take out for now. Like I say, it'll probably still be a couple weeks before I replant this bed here. It may happen sooner. If it does, I'll try to film it. But if not, it'll be a pleasant surprise for you when we do the next video. Now, here on this bed, the powdery mildew is mainly on the rutabagas. I've never really eaten the tops of the rutabagas anyway. So we will be taking those out and harvesting the rutabagas. They're not quite as big as I would like for them to get gotten, but they're not going to get much bigger either with the powdery mildew on them. So let's go ahead and start on that. Here, the rutabagas, just notice I'm taking them out by the roots. Well, I can cut some of that off. Here we have a small one. Looks about like a really good sized turnip. And that's what I'm going to harvest off of it. There's another one. Now, if we still was in our regular winter pattern, like it's been for the last 30, 40 years, these would have a chance to actually grow. What happened is it's warmed up. We started getting some really late night rains, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning where it rained. These things were getting wet, not being able to dry. And that's when you get your powdery mildew started. And that's exactly what happened here. But if it was still cold, we wouldn't have been getting the rains like that. These will be able to grow even better. They actually grow better when it's cold. So if this is going to be our new pattern, then we'll have to figure out how we're going to grow and what we're going to grow in the years to come. Because some of this stuff, with the amount of cold we had this year, was just not enough time to get things to grow that I wanted to grow. And the reason I'm going ahead and taking all these rutabagas out, because this is where the powdery mildew started before it jumped over to the bed with the mustard greens there. And I'm quite sure if it's on the mustard greens, it's going to start creeping down towards the turnip greens and whatever else greens we have out here. So that's why over the next few days, next week, however it works out, I'll be taking all of them out. Here you can get a bit better view of the chart. It's actually such a pretty plant, and I'm kind of glad we're taking these out. And whatever we put in next should not be able to grow at the same rate as it can. So it's just stand taller and just be beautiful just the way it is. Here's one of my cabbages here. Oh. This cabbage actually got damaged when we first planted it. We had one of the Christmas decorations fall over, hit right on the head, and broke the cabbage off. Now it's growing leaves. It's trying to form a ball, but I'll probably go ahead and take that one out because there's no head on it yet, and it's like the second growth of a cabbage. As well, we're out of our coal, so the flavor is not going to be the same. In the cabbage patch there, when we first started, when we first started taking those cabbages out, they were really, really sweet. The first two was actually surprisingly sweet. The last one, after it's been out here in the heat, one on this corner right here, after it's been in the heat for a couple weeks, it still was good. It had great flavor, but the sweetness was not there like in the first two, and it was noticeable. Probably if I had not eaten the first two, I would have said that was a really good cabbage. Let's get back to the task at hand here. I'm gonna also take out some of the kohlrabies. We're not going to take them all. We're just going to take some of the larger ones. They're not being affected by the powdery mildew, even though the leaves are touching each other. They're not being affected whatsoever. Here's a good one to take. It's a really nice one. But as you see, it's split. That's not going to save it. We're still going to eat her. Like I was saying earlier, I really would like to find a decent recipe for kohlrabi. I think that'd be great. Just put it on the stove with some butter, salt, pepper, and let them saute down. The texture and the flavor. Actually, the texture, because to me they didn't have a whole lot of flavor. So I think that'd be great for anything that you would fill in with the potato. I think it'll be great for that. All right, here's another rutabaga. And it was a pretty decent size rutabaga. Let's see, we're going to take this kohlrabi, even though it's smaller. Nice little kohlrabi. And I have a few more rutabagas here to take on out. A couple nice little heads of cabbages. This one here is one of the larger rutabagas. Still not quite the size they should or could be, but under the circumstances, it's good enough for me. Now the dilemma for me on the cabbages being that the cold is gone. We might get a day or two here and there that may have cold, but our cold season is gone. I didn't pay enough attention to watch my oak trees. Not only my oak trees in my yard, but all my neighbors around me, all the oak trees have put leaves back on the trees, which tells me that the trees themselves believe that the cold is gone. So the dilemma is, do I leave the cabbage and let them get larger? Or do I leave them here, allow them to grow and possibly not be as sweet or delectable as they are right now? What would you do? Would you let them get bigger? Or would you take them while you know they're at their best? I really would like to know what you would do. Here we have a few more. It's a decent sized one for the garden. You know what I think for this bed here? Being that we're resetting this bed, pretty much all of it, I'm gonna go ahead and take this cabbage. It's a decent looking head. It's a bit smaller than what we've been taking, but it is what it is. We're gonna and this is what we ended up with. Now, if I was making a meal just for myself, that would be plenty for me. But most of the time I cook, even if I'm cooking just for myself, all my wonderful helpers like to come get their share. So we're not even going to try to cook that just for ourselves. What I'll probably do is end up taking another cabbage or two out of the cabbage patch, and over the next day or so, just making a meal out of it. Right here, I hope you can see, I'm not going to get up to see, but I hope you can see. Right here we have a few cauliflowers. Just threw them in here, had them started, didn't have a place to put them, because right now we do not have the side yard garden going. All we have is the front yard garden. The side yard garden is going to take quite a bit of work to get back growing, and I don't know if I have the ability at this time to do it. Yep, here's another weed, another extra growth, something we didn't plant. If you see right here, if you can actually see right here beside me, we have some baby bok choy where me and one of my grandsons sit out here and harvest seeds from 2 years ago. And after the wood chips have finally broke down and these seeds stayed in the ground all that time until now. They grew, but it got hot, so they really went to seed before they had a chance to mature. But that's just how amazing seeds are. All the information to be the plant is in that little teeny tiny seed. And under the right conditions, it will flourish. It will become what it's supposed to be. Just like our children. We give them the right circumstances, they will flourish. Speaking of children, let me take you over here to this bed I recently planted. I'm gonna say I'm a fairly seasoned gardener. Been doing this for a while. I've actually had a garden all my life, but as far as having an organic garden where I'm not using 777 dust, 666 fertilizer, where I'm actually learning how to feed the soil. And when I use a fertilizer, make it organic fertilizer. Now this box right here with all this growing in it was started back in late November going into December when we started to clear this area and build these boxes. But my brilliant self cut down the sugar cane from the side yard garden. And because I decided I need more filler besides the branches and limbs that we pulled out here and the leaves, I decided to throw a few stalks of the sugar cane down there in the bottom of the box. Yeah, I figured it's 12, 18 inches deep. There's no way they're going to grow out, but there it is. I've been cutting these jokers off every other day because they grow so fast. This soil is so nutritious and rich that the only way I can stop them from growing is dig them back up out of there. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because this lettuce here probably is not going to be the best it can be. It's probably not going to be a good sweet. It's probably going to be kind of bitter because of the heat. So that's the only reason I'm going to dig these back out of there. Other than that, I would let them rascals grow right here. So when your kids do something real silly, and you know they should know better, think about what Papa J did. Because I definitely knew better, but yet I did it anyway. All right, folks, this video's been going on for a while. So I think I'm going to go ahead and... No, not yet. We're not going to end it yet. We're going to take these peppers off. I'm going to just stay with me while I take these peppers. We have all the rutabaga except one or two out of there. And I'll go back and get them later. So right now we're going to take all the peppers that are mature or blushing. And we're going to start right here with this jalapeno. And the reason I'm taking all these peppers now because I don't want to shut these plants down. It's starting to heat up. And of course, you know, if you let peppers go fully ripe, which this one was pretty close to being fully ripe, well, you see where it's starting to have these little splits in it. And that's the indication that that pepper is done doing what it's going to do. If you let the peppers completely ripen on the vine, on the plant, it's a very good possibility that you could shut it down and it no longer produce or have a very hard time producing peppers for the rest of the year. And as we can see, there's definitely growth. As we can see, there's definitely growth on these peppers. Plenty of new growth. So we do not want to shut these peppers down. We want them to be able to produce as well as they can, just like everything else we grow. So we're going to take all these off, even the little small ones that didn't get any size to them. Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure I water these up very well this afternoon before it gets too late. That one green one. Okay. Now we're going to get this orange habanero. We're going to go ahead and take these rascals off as well. Okay, well, this is what we got off for this one. And as you can see, there's plenty more peppers on there. Not very many blooms at the moment. But yeah, there's a few blooms too. So I expect that pepper to do very well this year, especially as we get warmer. Those limbs, they'll grow up. Okay, folks. I actually thank you for joining me today. And once again, I want to remind you not to be too busy. Please just take your time and grow something. Until next time, thank you for joining me.